Receive the good news, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. How should one believe in God to enter into the third kingdom of heaven? Refer to Matthew 13, verse 44 to 46. It's a misperception if one of today simply goes to the church that he shall unconditionally enter into the kingdom of heaven. But in realizing the thing that we go to the kingdom of heaven, where there is no death of our bodies, is not that easy. We have, in the first place, to know the way of how to believe in God. Because of reading the verse Matthew chapter 7, verse 21, "Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven." And in verse 22, "Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works? But Jesus cursed them, saying, Depart from me, ye that work iniquity." That's what we have to understand well what it reads. Herewith, what one has to do. First thing is realizing the will of the Father and doing it as it is. Reading the Revelation chapter 22, verse 14, that they may have right to enter in through the gates into the city, the third kingdom of heaven. And upon these gates, as it is written in Revelation chapter 21, verses 19 to 21, it means the 12 pearls gates. One must through these 12 pearls gates enter into the kingdom of heaven. The first jasper, this means one ought to enter the first gate, know the word, God is living. The second sapphire, this means Jesus, that one must believe in him as the Son of God. The third chalcedony, this means the precious blood, that one must believe that Jesus himself was nailed to a cross and died for the sin of man. The fourth, emerald, this means the children of the promise, conditional, who, so long as, have known the meaning of each one of the above of the first, the second and the third, and have repented their sin. The fifth, sardonyx, this means the law which one, being aware of it, must obey. The sixth, carnelian, this means believing in second come Jesus, that one must meet him and be led by him. The seventh, chrysolite, this means 4 living creatures, that is, supreme devil, that one ought to completely understand of the mystery of the devil. Second come Jesus shall teach. The eighth, burial, this means an adopted son of God, or the one who has been qualified for a daughter. Should the one, having met second come Jesus, be led by him, being fully aware of the mystery of Satan, to become an adopted son. 40 days of teaching. The ninth, topaz, this means a supreme devil of the spiritual sphere that infiltrates into the mind of man. And it means, like Job and Jacob, even with whatever trials there may be, that one ought not to succumb to devil. The 10th, chrysoprase, this means the head, teacher, that one becomes a teacher. Should the one overcome the trial against Satan, as a worker of God one has to go forth for preaching. The 11th, jacinth, this means God acknowledges one as a true son. And then from second come Jesus shall one be given a new, sacred name. The 12th, amethyst, this means one is God's son of perfection. And then one enters into the third kingdom of heaven, taking 3 months special teaching to keep the new law where there is no more death. neither tears, and he or she gets eternal rest. The above stated is the will of God's desire to the human being. But today all the Christians cannot carry out the kingdom of heaven of the mind, which is the first kingdom of heaven, blocked by the fifth gate. Some may think with wonder that, then who else can go to the kingdom of heaven that is so hard? However, to some who are hard, the kingdom of heaven, is like catching a star in the sky. But to others who are easy, it is too easy kingdom of heaven, because it is so easy that, if one only believes in second come Jesus to follow him, second come Jesus, as it reads in Romans chapter 4 verse 7, shall forgive their iniquities, and cover their sins, and shall not count their sins against them. And in Rome chapter 8 verse 1 to 2, as there is no condemnation, and once being freed from their sins, they are entitled to be called kings, and then becoming kings, there, as written in Isaiah chapter 37, verse 30, shall be the sign for the king. To summarize the above again, as the God is of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. It can be divided into three phases to understand it briefly. Those who have been led by second come Jesus are passed up to sixth gate. The meaning of the God of Abraham, the seventh and eighth gate. In the first year, becoming aware of the meaning of as written in Matthew 5, 6, and 7, and the Revelation. And if one can make it, these words, plain upon tablets, that he may run that readeth it, as written as Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2, then one is fulfilling the first will of God, given each gift of the Spirit and the spirit of martyr, as written in 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 8 to 11. One can listen to the voice of the Spirit directly which one has received, but in case one cannot make it by oneself, second come Jesus will take this in charge. There shall be 40 days of teaching. The meaning of the God of Isaac, the 9th and 10th gate. In the second year, one should be obedient and do love. Refer to 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4 to 7, and preach, and must not allow the Spirit, which comes to oneself, to pretend to be God or Jesus. In other words, it means the flesh has to win over the Spirit, but not to be won by the Spirit. If one is to keep this, he or she is fulfilling the second will of God that he wants. Each one will do the power. A souvenir given. The meaning of the God of Jacob, the 11th and 12th gate. In the third year, like Jacob, how hard one may suffer hardships, one should not deny the Lord, but take up one's cross, do sacrifice oneself, do glorify God, and do make efforts for the gospel of the kingdom of heaven. If one keeps it, one is fulfilling the last will of God that he wants. There shall be a trial of Satan. From second come Jesus shall one receive a new, sacred name. Depending upon the faithfulness of each person, he or she can make it in 1 month. That's all about it.
Subscribe and like.
Thank you for your listening so far.